Hello, this is Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. I wanted to offer some perspectives today on the conversation taking place around the country about the use of deception in the pro-life cause. Recently, live-action films which revealed the deceptive practices of Planned Parenthood, and also over the years, various other pro-life groups have done sting operations, spying, undercover work to reveal the evil that's being done by the abortion industry. Now, we know that spying, undercover activity, sting operations are done by governments all the time, by law enforcement in situations of war and the defense of life. So any argument that says this cannot be done or is immoral all the time also has to cover these wider things. It's not just the pro-life movement that's doing this kind of activity. And obviously we have to always abide by the judgment of the Church's magisterium in these cases, and we embrace what the Catechism says about lying and about, obviously, the principle that the end never justifies the means. The question here, though, is analogous to the question of the act of killing. We know that killing is intrinsically wrong, it's evil, and yet what is intrinsically wrong is murder. In other words, killing the innocent. We know that there are circumstances where an action takes a human life, and yet in the cases, for example, of self-defense or morally legitimate acts in warfare, there can be an action that ends a human life that does not fall under the category of murder. So the question is, can it be the same thing with speech? Can words come out of our mouth that do not correspond exactly with the truth, and yet in that case be justifiable? And I have two articles here about, one of them by Boniface Ramsey, the two traditions on lying and deception, going back to church fathers like Hilary and Chrysostom, pointing out that there are circumstances in which deception can be used, and another article, The History of Thought, about the morality of lying. This is a legitimate consideration. I'm under the seal of confession, for example, if John Smith comes to me and confesses that he stole $100, if tomorrow someone comes up to me and says, "Do you know if John Smith stole $100?" I can't say yes. That would break the seal of confession. If I say no or I don't know, neither of those responses corresponds to the truth. He did steal it and I do know, but I can't break the seal of confession. So in some circumstances, what we actually say might not correspond to the truth, and yet it might be justified. In the case of Planned Parenthood, I see an analogy to the question of someone who is attacking your life. Someone's attacking your life. In self-defense, you can harm them, and your action might even take their life. It's not murder. Planned Parenthood is engaged in a massive act of deception. And that's exactly, in the service of the truth, what the actions of those who do the undercover work are exposing. Their work in going in there and posing as something that they aren't is actually an action in service of the truth. It's really an experiment when you think about it, because Planned Parenthood could, if they want, come out smelling like roses. If a couple comes to them and says, "Well, I'm operating a sex trafficking operation, and I need you to give an abortion to this girl who's a minor," it essentially is a question: will you do this in these circumstances, or will you cover this up? Will you do the abortion anyway? Will you avoid the requirements of the law to report? Really what's happening is we're posing a question. We know that they are an industry that's engaged in a massive criminal cover-up, and it needs to be exposed. So the person going in there asking that question is giving Planned Parenthood an opportunity to say, no, we're not going to cooperate with this. We're not going to cover this up. It's not trying to manipulate Planned Parenthood into a situation, into doing something that they don't want to do. It's asking them what they do. Anyway, these are some perspectives on this question. It's under a great deal of discussion these days, and we have a lot more to say about it. But I hope that these reflections are helpful to those of you who are trying to sort this out. I have counseled and guided Lila Rose over the years and encouraged her in this activity. Similarly with Life Dynamics, with the various cover-up operations, we have files of transcripts of tapes from the conventions of abortionists, which we were able to obtain only by having somebody go into those conferences as a participant, pretending to be on the other side of the issue, so that we could get that information. So we've been dealing with this matter for many years, and of course we are open to your input into it, and I'll be glad to send you copies of these articles that I referred to before if you would like. Thanks, and God bless you.